So today we're looking at Michael Skinner, one of the great close-up magicians of all time. And this is just an example of, a guy who just basically took some classics of magic and elevated them to the highest level. And I think that when you look at all of Skinner's magic, I think that that's the one thing that you can be reminded of over and over again. And the repertoire is deep. The guy's just got so much magic. I mean, we probably could do a bunch of these shows on the magic, but today we're focusing on a couple of television performances of Michael, seeing him, performing for the lay public, because there's a lot of material out there, but, a lot of the stuff is just him recording it to document it. And as a study, that's fun as a magician to look at that stuff. But I figured that looking at the Michael Skinner stuff in the beginning, it's probably wise to look at it to get some get a perspective with audience reactions and see Michael actually working for people. So that's pretty much where we're at today.
To give everyone a little background on Michael Skinner, he was my bro. I used to hang out in the restaurant where he used to work. He actually he was found by Steve Wynn at the Magic Castle. I believe it was in the late 60s or the early 70s. And Steve Wynn asked Michael to come move to Las Vegas and perform in the Lily Langtree's Hotel back when the Golden Nugget was the hot, big Steve Wynn hotel. What are you grinning about?
No, I'm just enjoying your story.
So as we get into it, I'm gonna be seeing a lot of familiar stuff because I used to see Michael do this stuff in restaurants for my mother. The first time I saw Michael Skinner was with Dan Harlan and my mom at Michael's restaurant, Chinese food, great Chinese restaurant in Las Vegas. And so it's going to be very, very, it's going to be like old home week because Michael's one of my favorite magicians and you're going to get to see him. No one can turn a card over. Like for revelation, Skinner. Like Michael Skinner. He waits and then he waits and then he waits and then he waits and then boom, your card. Wait, watch for it. You'll see it.
That's right. All right. Can you see the screen there?
Got it.
All right. This is some rare footage too. You won't find this anywhere. This is really good. Cool that we're seeing it.
Wow, Johnny's off.
Mike Skinner.
Yeah, Johnny's off.
One of the best close-up magicians in the business today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mike Skinner. Sergio, would you join us? Maybe join us at the table here. Why don't you sit here in the middle?
You sit on my left.
I shall. Joe?
Yes, where do you want me, Tom?
Jack, Sergio, can we have another chair?
That's all right, Jack.
All right. It's kind of nice. So, yeah, you can stand over there.
Yeah, it is. It's like the whole...
He brought Vegas with him.
Okay, Mike, we're ready for you.
Okay, the interesting thing about my type of magic, or sleight of hand as it's called, Tony, is that I can go into anyone's home at any time and borrow whatever I need, whether it's coffee cups or a table knife or a glass or a pack of cards. So it's a little interesting. I'm going to give an example of that right now with some coins. Now, these are coins that you don't see too often, these old Liberty had 50-cent pieces. I've got 6 of them, Joe. Look, 6 coins. And I'll use my finger ring. Now, I'll perform this very slowly. The ring goes in my right hand. The ring is in the right hand along with 3 coins. It's 3 coins in the ring in the right, and only 3 coins in the left hand. Nothing else in the left hand. That's what's in the right hand, Joe?
You have a nice manicure, too, Mike.
And I have 3 quarters in the ring in the right thing. Now, as long as I keep the hands far apart, the coins can't move, but I'm going to cause them all to join one hand without bringing the hands together, just by moving my thumbs. Watch. Did you see that?
Yes.
Look. In here.
All right. So we won't break in for long, but we'll say that that's we're used to seeing our own Michael Granoff do a phase like that. It makes a lot of sense in the context of a longer routine. And I think we're watching a longer routine. What we just saw was a Hen Pin Chen, right? Done as beautifully as it can be done. Feints excluded, Steve Forster. We'll speak a little bit more about Hang Pin Chen after that. It's always been a little bit of a bugaboo with me, the old Hang Pin Chen. You know what I mean?
Same here.
We'll get in there. We'll say something about it, but let's see what the follow-up is.
This time, Tony, we'll use the 3 cups and this table knife. I'll stand up so you can see this a little better. Now, when I say impromptu, I really mean that, because in addition to these cups and this knife, I borrowed 3 cherries from backstage. Somebody was making some Manhattans. I managed to steal 3 cherries here. We got 1 for each cup. This is cup number 1 on your right, 2 in the center, and cup number 3. So watch the cups, watch the cherries, one at a time. There's 1. That's number 2.
Wait a minute.
And the 3rd. This gives me 1, 2, and 3. I may be moving too quickly. I'm going to slow things up a bit, and we'll cover this center cherry. Jack, we take the 1 from the right hand, and that moves very quickly from here to join the 2 in the center, you see? We can do it with either the right hand or the left hand. It doesn't make any difference which direction I go. There's nothing in the end cups. I always have 3 for the center. And you know, I can recall when I used to practice this years ago, I could never decide how to begin. In other words, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could start with 3 cherries under the center, make a motion, and have 1 appear here? It wasn't always there. When I get back to the center, there's 1 missing. I thought, where could it be? It must be over here. Of course, we can straighten things out in a hurry by putting 1 under each, if we'd like to do it that way.
Oh, man, that is...
Dude. And you know, the camera is giving him a bit of a hard time, right? Because that camera is not
at angle.
and it's at no human angle. Like, you know, it's zoomed in a way where, you know, it's almost impossible to, without a monitor, to actually know what's happening with your angles. And he's still getting that retention of vision. But, you know, you can hear what's happening for the people around him. They're getting money shot angles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it looks like magic.
Just to clarify too, those I haven't ever seen that exact sequence before, or I don't feel like I have, or maybe he's using teacups, which it was
Let's watch the rest of it. Let's watch the rest.
All right, let's do it.
We're still just trying to get over the fact that he doesn't seem to have any, you know, Paul Fox cups. He seems to be doing those with the wedding china
and a knife for our magic wands.
You know, sometimes I have skeptics, Joe, that don't actually believe I place 1 under each cup. So I'll show you that there can be no doubt in your mind if you actually see the cherry at all times. There's 1,
convert
2. Now let's suppose just for a moment that I was willing to explain a portion of this. If so, it wouldn't be necessary to use all 3 cherries. I don't need the 1 from cup number 3, nor the 1 from cup number 1. So that leaves how many in the center cup, the 1 in the middle?
1.
That's right. I just want to see if you're paying attention. But it doesn't explain how this one comes back over here. But actually, I only pretend to place the cherry in the pocket. I just make a motion like this and close my empty hand. Then by keeping the fingers curled around the cherry, when I lift the cup, it appears to come out from underneath. You see, that's the illusion. But it's no illusion if you see the cherry go in the pocket. Now, how many would you say are under the center cup? 2. Got to get it sooner or later, actually, than 3. Close. So the only explanation is perhaps I had some extra ones. If I did, Jack, which cup would they be under?
The far cup.
The far cup? Well, you're right in the way. I'd better say it
to you. Beast mode, dude.
Beast mode.
Yikes, man, that's tough to beat. I know. Yeah, Richie, exactly. Wowzer. Like,
and again, all these guys that are doing the best of these 3 cup routines, they all seem to have settled on that load sequence. That sequence that's happening there, that's what's transcribed in that John Thompson book.
And it's that double load at the end. So the first cup that you reveal with the load, you have that chance to do that extra load.
Right,
so
and that's a standard. That's one of the standard things to get 4 out of the thing. But I'm talking about it being the effect where you're putting away the balls, 3 show up under the middle cup, and now there's loads, and then that other load that you're speaking of. That whole sequence is that's what's in Thompson's book. And that's what Ricky Jay does. It's just like one of the best load sequences that I've ever seen for 3 cups, anyways. For 3 cups.
Yeah. It is very deceptive, and you saw there in the video too that he had a little trouble with that 1 load on the left.
That's right. That cup wanted to tip up on him, didn't it?
It did. He handled it in an instant. He had his other hand went over there and just adjusted it. He had to change it, move the fruit, underneath a little bit, get it to flatten.
Yeah,
we've all been there. We've been there.
And he's on TV, so he's feeling those lights, right?
And that angle,
thing.
he already knows that angle's not great.
So you have to pardon me when you say that this is the loading sequence in the Johnny Thompson book. Is this Johnny's loading sequence, or is it Charlie Miller's, or what? Whose sequence is it?
For the book gives the impression that it's Johnny's, but I don't know. I mean, I have to. To me, it feels like it's got to be one of those things that's just really old. You know, when Charlie Miller talks about the Charlie Miller ball through cup move, he says, you know, someone asked him about that. So, Charlie, how did you work out that move? He said, you know, it's really funny. I just do that move. There's nothing new in cups and balls. All these things are thousands of years old. They're old as the hills. They've been around. The creator is lost to time. We're never going to know. They're just cups and balls moves. So he says it's flattering that that move has my name attributed to it, but it's not my move. So
is this the sequence that's in the Vernon routine that appears in the?
No, Vernon's sequence is a little bit different than this. It's similar, but pretty different.
Do we get the impression it's one of those situations where Vernon doesn't want the one he used going in the book?
I wouldn't be surprised. But when you see him perform it, it's the one that's transcribed in the Die Vernon Book of Magic. Is, you know, that's the one that you see him do when you see performances in video of him doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's continue on.
Yes, sir.
Incredible. I truly believe that is impossible. Could you produce the Manhattan that those chairs?
I'm making a vanish backstage.
Yes. Okay.
Tony, I wonder if I could have that glass and that pack of cards.
Okay, Hal.
For a moment. Okay. Well, we won't need the glass for a moment. We'll set that aside. You know, remember the old three
You're going to call what?
I'm calling out of sight. I don't know.
Okay.
shell game where you have 3 walnut shells and a pea? Everybody's heard that game. Well, there's a counterpart with cards, Tony. The same game can be used with cards using only 3. 3 cards. The idea is to find the one red card. I have 2 black ones and a queen. I'll bend them to make it easy to pick these up. Now, I'll show you how the game works, and we'll try a couple rounds, all right? When I toss these cards, I can place the queen sometimes in the center, and sometimes when I toss the cards, the queen will be over here. I know where it's going. I'll do it very slowly. Let's see what happens, Tony. I'll do it very slow. Which one would you say is the red card? Don't guess. I want you to be sure. I don't always put it there, you see. Sometimes I put it on the same end, sometimes on the other end, Joe. We'll try it again. Which one would you say is the queen? You know, suppose I show you both black cards. I usually don't do that, but I will this evening. That makes it easy if I show you both black cards. I'm sure most of you probably bet here it never is. You see, it's always the one in the center. Okay, you know, am I going too fast for you?
Yes, you are.
Well, I'm going to bet some money this time. I'm willing to bet. Tony, would you like to make a little wager?
Sure.
I can do it one more time.
Okay,
All right.
what would you like to bet?
Well, $1 is fine.
All right,
How's that,
you got a bet.
All right, now I only have 1 red card. I don't have 2. I have the 1 red queen. I'm going to do it very slowly so you can see what happens. Which one do you think is the red one?
That one right there.
Very good. Have you played this game
No,
before?
I was just paying attention.
You want to go double or nothing? You got time?
I'll double
All
or nothing, right.
Only 2 black cards and the 1 red one. Now, maybe I'm moving too slow. I'll speed it up just a little bit. But I'll always show you where it is so you can see right to the end, okay? The 1 red card. Okay. Now, which one do you think? This? Oh, that corner's bent a little bit.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, let me straighten that out. We got to get that.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
A little working with a Confederate there. Little pre-show work from an old Las Vegas veteran, Tony Curtis, in on the act.
Yes, that was set up, Garnet. Richie, definitely set up. That is a classic 3-card Monty ending gambit where and actually used on the street, where the performer, or rather the broad tosser, they would call him, he would turn to address someone in the audience, and one of the supposed people betting would reach out and bend the corner, and that way everybody who's betting would then up their bet huge. So imagine if you thought you had the advantage on the con man, you'd bet hundreds of dollars only to find out that you lost. So
but the thing is like normally, right, the magician has to tell a story about how this happened to him, and it was, it's a little bit of a transference. But in this case, doing the live show, say, hey there, Mr. Curtis, we're going to do a little act called I'm Spartacus, right? And then together we're going to get into that. Another great treat there was, Jack Lemmon, our own Chris Grant, used to be a stage manager on Broadway, and he was literally sent to drag Jack Lemmon upright out of bars late for curtain for the curtain of the show. And so, just watching Jack Lemmon attempt to sit upright during a stage TV appearance is always an exciting thing, especially in these days with the Vegas crew on the Tonight Show. Johnny's clearly away. These guys are pretty much just hammered.
Yeah, right.
This is another time.
Another time.
All right. So as you can see, Skinner's got skills. He's got personality. He's kind of got the whole package. No wonder.
And he's a gentleman.
And he is a gentleman.
He truly was. He's not putting it on. Now you get to see Michael in this next bit. He's going to look a little bit more like the guy I met.
All right.
Hair still brown.
Remember the old 3-shell game? You had 3 walnut shells and a pea. Got to move around, find which shell the pea is under. The old army game. We did the same thing with cards called 3, count of 3, card Monte. 3 card Monte. We have a 3, an ace, and a 2. Now when I move these cards around, all you have to do is keep your eye on the ace. That's the one to watch. Follow the ace. Now whatever you do, don't let me go too fast. Please, don't let me go too fast. Point to the ace, Jeff. That's a 3, 2, and the ace. I'll do it again. Maybe I went too fast. Shall we do it again? Okay. The name of the game is always the same. It's called Follow the Ace, Watch the Ace. Now, here we go slowly. Ace, 2, 3. Watch the ace, please. 3. That's 2. This is. Last time coming up. Here we go. Last time coming up. Paul, I think I know what the problem is. We have too many cards. Too many cards, right? Let's eliminate one of the cards we just used, too. 50-50 chance now, just like flipping a coin in the air. Heads I win, tails you lose. 2 here, 1 here. Pick the ace, please. Ooh. Ooh. Ace 2. Ace 2. That you hate to play cards with me?
Yeah.
I can't even get kids to play Old Bay with me. I give them that Queen of Spades. Every shot I get, I give them that Queen of Spades. Thank you very much.
Damn.
You can really see here a thing that you can try just for fun if you're a magic person. You may have seen the Skinner Monty before. It's really much older than Michael Skinner. But you can see Michael wastes no time doing it as slow as you can go. So one of the things that you can challenge yourself to do is to grab those cards. It's great because you're taking the sleight of hand out of it. And then you attempt to do a phase of that trick as slowly as Michael does in front of people, and just watch as you go faster than you mean to.
Totally.
It's hard to go as slow as Mike.
You're right. It is. You're right.
Yeah, that's a concentrated effort to go that slow. It's so deliberate. There's no question as to what's going on. Like even in that part where he sort of like tips it up and you can't see the cards, it doesn't matter because he's going so slow. You see the other ones and you know exactly what the story is. It's beautiful. It's a lesson in how to really do that trick. That's why I wanted to include that one because, let's see this master do the thing that we all, we read about it. We hear people talk about how great it is. We see a million variations, but let's see the master really do the thing. And that's, that's the way it should be done. So good.
Sometimes he talks fast, but then he moves slow. Now, this is really interesting. We're going to watch one more real robust clip. This time, though, we're back at Johnny's table, but this time, Daddy's home.
Daddy is home.
And it was very rare to see the Johnny Carson appear on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in those days, as Groucho Marx once pointed out. The only one I've never seen on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson is Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson.
Okay. Can you see it, Alex?
Used to have a long weekend, Johnny.
I'm sure he did. His weekends would stretch into Tuesday.
Friday
and Monday. Before you started, Adam, I want to mention this, that I cut it off just for time, because we have a finite amount of time to watch magic here. But it was interesting to note that you don't see too many magicians get the treatment that Michael Skinner got. Before You'll see them here. They're walking to the table, and Michael says, "Why don't you sit here, Johnny?" They were on the couch, and Johnny was interviewing Michael Skinner about being a close-up magician on the couch,
Really?
like he was a TV star. I only cut it for time, but it's fascinating that that's how highly that Johnny thought of Michael. He treated him like he was a movie star.
Michael definitely used to go over to Johnny's house in the afternoons when he was going to be on the show, and they would hang in the afternoon, hang at the pool, and then go in to do the show in the afternoon. So
Totally. Roger told me stories about that. It's like, it was amazing.
Could
Amazing.
be a fly on the wall there at those parties.
Right?
chain
Right?
smoking cigarettes. I used to try and chain smoke those Camels. Michael had unfiltered Camels, and I was like 20, and I'd be trying to smoke and be like Mike, and he'd be like, you don't have to try and keep up, kid. And I'd be like, but I do.
I want to be like Mike.
Oh, funny. Let's do it. Here we
Such
go.
days.
Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Look at this.
Sit on my left. Alex, would you sit next to Johnny over here like this?
Thank you, my dear.
Comes from the Midwest upbringing.
I'll have a vodka on the rocks.
Never mind.
Now, we have a camera right up here, and we have a camera, and we're going to bring the cameras in around, as I explained before. There is no type of cutting away or camera tricks at all. What you see the Mike is going to do is what he does. We'll vouch for that, and we'll watch, and you tell us what's going to happen. Phyllis, would you examine these two little balls of sponge rubber? Make sure they don't unscrew in the center. They're both the same size and shape, cut from the same material.
Right, absolutely correct.
Would you hold out your right hand, palm up, Phyllis? Squeeze this one very tight. Close your fingers. Keep your hand tightly closed. I've got one. You've got one.
Mm-hmm.
Look, mine's gone. Open your hand slowly. Turn your hand over and open it slowly. It's a strange feeling, isn't it, huh? Would you hold both of them this time, Phyllis? Close your
Yes.
fingers again. Take the two. People ask me, how does he do that? Well, you have to have an extra one. I keep this third one up here, but it doesn't take long to go from here to join your two. Again, open your hand slowly. Isn't that fun? Isn't that Alex, would you hold all three of these? Close your fingers on them tight.
Don't break them.
I'll cause them to vanish from your hand just by casting a shadow over them like that. Are they gone yet? No. Maybe we're squeezing too hard. Open your hand. Let's see.
Great.
Wow. Hey, Alex, who was that? Who's the big guy? Who's that guy he just used for that? Do you know?
Oh, it's Alex. I can't remember his last name. He's Mongo in Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
Alex Karras.
It's Alex Karras. Yes. Yes.
He's loaded too. Mongo hurt. Mongo had all those bits that the Hulk was doing in Ragnarok.
Really?
Mongo's sad.
Don't you love the close-up table stuff? This is what magic really is when you get it down. Is what's working with the hand.
Our son Adam, who is 13, is a magic freak. He's going to be so thrilled that I'm on with you.
Okay. Johnny, if someone handed you a shuffle pack of cards and asked you to take out a good poker hand like the four aces, normally you have to look through the pack face up to take out the cards you need them, right? But the aces are lighter than the rest of the cards. It doesn't take as much ink to print an ace, so that makes them light. Does that make sense? So you can find them by the sense of touch, because they are lighter. We'll cause them to come out one at a time, shuffling in between each ace. The ace of diamonds, the ace of clubs, always mixing the cards up. We still have the two major suits in bridge, spades, and hearts. There's the hearts. The last one, the ace of spades, watch.
Isn't that
Terrific.
Folks have to watch the monitors really to see, probably, except the people here can follow.
This time, four.
I think I just learned a little something, as I always do, from Michael Skinner. First, you were mentioning that Michael's got the Skinner touch, and it's a thing all its own. It's not the Vernon touch. It's really, you can see the way Michael handles things. But anyone who's tried to do the Pete Fortin pop-out move knows that when you see some people do it, right? It seems like it hits all the time. But sometimes it's a little hard to get that air inside the cards just when you need it. And Michael has added this little flutter to it to guarantee that some air will get trapped in between that card and pop it out. And I think that's what you do, because he's on this TV show. He wants to make sure he gets each one. He doesn't want to go miss. And, when the Pete Fortin pop-out move misses, it's not a great look.
No.
And
he does another thing like what he's doing with that Pete Fortin move. He does up the ladder up the ladder cut. But as he's doing up the ladder, a flutter happens and aces get produced like that. It's a really beautiful thing. He really exploited that little flutter thing to produce cards in precarious situations where it might be what you're talking about, where if it misses in a bad way and it looks clunky, you know. But I think that looks magical when he does that.
There's no doubt about it. And Michael did die young, but as you can see during this period, he got a lot of life in the 70s and 80s. He was kind of the biggest close-up magic star just by proximity to where he was and what he was doing and who he was working for. And I'm pretty sure Tony Curtis knew him and had met him and had spent a few evenings hanging out at the old Peppermill.
Mm-hmm. In an interview segment, he mentions a bunch of stars that he gives private lessons to in Hollywood, you know. So it was all, you know, he was definitely the man of his time.
Four 50-cent pieces. These are the old Walking Liberty Head 50-cent pieces. We use 4 of them.
Do that again. I don't know if they caught that in the camera, Mike.
This is the old...
It's just a cut. That's just to loosen up a little bit.
Coins. Yeah, right.
Awesome.
I have
Johnny
4 of
loves
them.
those things.
Johnny, 4 in the shape of a square, and of course the 4 aces. Now it isn't important to remember which aces go where. We're only using them as covers for the coins.
Right.
Since they're larger than the coins, they effectively conceal them in this way. I want you to watch the cards and watch the coins, especially the coin in your lower right-hand corner, because the other 3 are going to join that one at a time very quickly. I'll let you see them once more. Watch.
All right, 1 there. We got 1 under each of the others.
There's 2.
Oh.
2 over there. 3 over there. Did you?
Oh,
That's pretty smooth, man.
That's really lovely.
Very hypnotic, you're right.
It's wonderful because you're so close and you see nothing. I don't understand.
I like to watch it myself. I like it. Just for a change of pace, Phyllis, I have 2 handkerchiefs here. They're both the same size and shape, cut from the same material. Now, in a moment, I'm going to tie these handkerchiefs together very tightly. Then I'll let you tie the opposite ends so we have a complete circle, okay?
Okay.
Now, when it comes time for you to tie them, I want you to tie them as tight as you like. And don't worry about ripping or tearing the handkerchiefs because they're expendable. You can tie them in a square knot or a granny knot, whatever you like. The main thing is to be sure that they're tight. Watch.
It's about as tight as you can get.
Now that's a square knot, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have to tie a square knot. The main thing is you tie the other ends, be sure they're just as tight. So if you tie these ends, let's get the ends even first. Let me get them just about the same length. So If you do it, I'm serious. Really tie them. That's the way. Tie it again just to be sure.
It's a very good square knot, Phyllis.
Thank you, Johnny.
Really pull it tight. Look, if you rip these, I'll give you another pair.
Okay.
Did you want to tie another knot on top of there?
No.
You don't want to? You can tie it again if you like.
If you want me to, I will.
Just to keep me honest.
Okay.
It's so, that's, you know, it comes together very tightly when you tie something like that.
I know.
How long do you think it would take to take these knots apart if we had to open them with our fingers?
A minute.
It would take a minute or 2. Would you hold on to one of these handkerchiefs?
Okay.
You know, there's so many types of knots, John, but they all work a different way.
You could have got your table that doesn't move around. This is not magic, folks. The table just is moving around.
Get back to the 4 aces for a moment.
Yeah.
As the Slidini Silks, of course.
Yeah.
And I remember taking my mother to Lily Langtree's and meeting Michael for the very first time and being next to Michael and really just not knowing what the heck hit me after I handed him back those silks and he did that. It really just takes you right back.
There's a great misdirection moment in there too. There's 2 of them, but that second one when he's like, here, he's like, hold this right here. And it's really just, you don't expect it. It's really clever. And Newell says it's his favorite trick. Yeah, you've been working on that one. Ethan Ross, that's called the Slidini Silk. Slidini Silks, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it's not as easy as it looks, but it's pretty cool.
Go back and look at our Slidini show that we did in one of these afternoon astonishments. You can see Slidini do it with multiple people and really pushing that whole idea to the nth degree. Just for more ideas on it, if you're interested in the routine.
Michael did have that mega repertoire, so he never had to linger. And certainly on these TV shows, he's not lingering. He's just doing a little chunk of each thing, you know.
That's right.
Each one of these things you could double click in real life and it would go on. You know?
But there are many ways you can locate them, and through years of practice, the sense of touch is all that's necessary. Suppose we want to find the aces again, each one in a different way. There's the ace of clubs. That's one. See if we find another one. The pack of cut. That's the second ace, the ace of diamonds. Third one. Ace number 3. The last one, the ace of spades. Just by watching the king of diamonds, the ace of spades.
That's pretty.
Turn into
Actually, very pretty.
Johnny, you've been interested in magic, I know yourself, a long time, and there's one cliche that everyone comments on. They say the magician or sleight of hand artist must palm the cards. He must hold them in his hand in some way. Everyone's heard about palming cards, but most people have never actually seen it performed. Now, ethics prohibit me from explaining this, but I'm going to give you a demonstration of what we call invisible palming. Now, this is a method of holding a card in the palm of my hand so that you can't see it, even if I show you both sides of the hand. Now, I'll just use 4 cards so that we can see this well from distance. The ace of hearts, the diamonds, the spades, and the clubs. I'll place 3 of the aces forward on the table like this, the ace of clubs back here. Now, keep your eye on these 3 aces, because by covering the top one with my right hand like this, it's very difficult to see from that side of the hand or from this side. I'll place it down here with that first ace, so that gives me 2. That always leaves the spades and diamonds for later, you see. So if that's the spades and the diamonds, this has to be the hearts and the clubs. Should I do it again with one of the other 2?
Very nice.
Let's try it again with one of these 2 this time, look.
See that?
See, I'll even spread my fingers on this one. That gives me 3. I always save the ace of diamonds for last. So if that's the ace of diamonds, this has to be the 2 black ones and the ace of hearts. If I place the diamond, if I place the diamond back in the pack, we wouldn't be able to see it. So we'll make an X on the table right about here, you see. We place the last one onto the hand, and just by pressing on it, it goes from there. Am I going too fast for you? Should I slow it down?
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to know, right, that right before this trick started, he did the only Leipzig side steal you'll ever see on television, right, to change that last card right before going into that discussion of palming. And then you're basically going to see the most beautiful table double type of management that you'll ever see, certainly outside Spain, right? You're going to get to see the Skinner transfer move before that last ace goes. This is all the things you read in the book where you don't know whether it's in your palm or not in your palm. Let's watch that again. You can really see Michael transfer. He's got just that double card, and he's going to steal that card off at the end and stick it on the bottom.
Right
on
here.
the top of the table packet.
Watch, it's coming up.
It'll be after this revelation.
And you noted he doesn't even mess around with putting the 2 cards. Here comes, though, right?
That's it right here.
Oh.
There it is.
Nothing to see, though.
No.
Oof, look at that. See, he doesn't even spread the cards.
No table
No,
double.
why waste the time?
Same here. He doesn't do
the effect.
He doesn't do the proving move to show it's not on top of the deck there. He's just
What
right in.
for? Why waste the time? You know it's
That's
there.
right.
It's awesome.
Do you see
Streamlined.
the way the audience gasped on that first ace? That live audience, you heard that entire room. When I was finally in that room, you guys been see the Tonight Show tape?
No.
It's a smaller room than you think. You know, when you're seeing that live studio audience on TV, they do everything they can to make it feel like it's gigantic.
It's not.
It's not. What's a couple hundred people in there?
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
But if you think when you watch TV, they're in a giant cavernous space, you know, they in the back row, they felt that ace go. And there was no video screen, you know, there was no modern America's Got Talent
Giant, yeah, right.
Jumbotron happening, right? That was so beautiful. I want to see him do it again. It's wrong. He's got another trick to do. He would never repeat it in real life like that. He'd have to come back and order another egg foo young.
It was amazing that after he did that, he had to stop because the audience like just burst into applause, right? Like he just had to stop. They're applauding this thing.
You're talking about this. I thought it was interesting too because you're talking about this moment right here.
Place the diamond
right there.
Right.
Where it interrupted his flow and patter.
Totally.
You know, so it was
because
a really
they just had to say, that's amazing.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like it was a really inconvenient place for the audience to clap, you know, to mess up the finale. But
Well, he
place
does it
the
close
diamond
up.
back
He's
in-
not used to doing it for a big room full of people, probably, right?
Michael is used to moving forward. Michael was used to moving forward as though it was going to be a quiet, peaceful, hypnotic show for people, you know, because it was hypnotic, right? So people would watch and they would respond, but it would all be a lot of implosions, you know, because he was such a graceful, elegant guy doing this for you in close up, and it really had felt pretty sacred. Poor Alex Karras. You should share that screen. Alex Karras, you know, he had a big night in Hollywood. He's smoking a cigarette and he's a doobie 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 doo. Right? He's having a time.
Phyllis, would you remove one card face up from the pack, and I'd like you to write your name on it if you would. I have a pen here. Just put your initials on it.
Anyone at all.
Anyone that you like.
Okay.
You can, just doesn't matter if I see what it is.
I knew you were going to
Select
take the 6 o'clock.
How'd you know I
You're
said...
that kind of a girl.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Johnny, would you just mark that as well,
Sure.
please? If you would?
Okay.
Mongo want to mark too.
Mungo's
Well,
great.
very nice X.
Smoking
We
100.
got Alex, Johnny.
Good Mungo.
Now, we'll place the 6 of clubs with the 3 signatures in the exact center of the pack, right in the exact center. Well, that wasn't the exact center. We'll do it again, this time from the back. We'll place it in this way so you can see.
Got ambition.
Oh, look.
Maybe we ought to mix the cards first. Let me shuffle them up a bit.
Yes, I think that would be nice.
Spin.
That you know.
He got right to
Now,
the
there's a
thing.
new gambling game that's originated on the East Coast and it's gradually working its way west. So listen, I'll spread the cards out and you're to push out one card, but I'll tell you ahead of time, the card you push out will be the same one that you just signed.
Nice.
Exact same trick. Push one out, don't turn it over.
Just push out anyone.
Push one out.
Clean.
I'm going to make a little wager. I'm not usually a betting man, but I will say that
Dirty, mean, clean.
if I'm wrong, you'll get $1. You don't have to put up a dime. I'll leave the wallet right out here on the table.
Boom.
Before we check and see if that's the card you signed, let's check the rest of the pack.
Coming to get you.
Well, we're not going to find it if we look all day. In fact, we're not going to find it if we turn this card over, because I want you to watch something you're going to remember for quite a while. Look. I have a wallet inside the sealed compartment. There's some mail. I have some mail I haven't had a chance to read yet. It's a sealed letter with sealing
Oh,
wax.
come on.
Sealing
It
wax.
says open immediately.
I'm the Lord of the Manor.
Oh,
I'm
I...
afraid to take a look. Mongo, would you take the envelope, please? See if there's anything inside that... Is that the card with the same signature?
It is just too fast. It is machine gun magic, man. You don't have time to hardly reflect on all the things you're seeing.
It seems fast, but that was just tight.
And
I know it's
smooth.
wrong. Let's
It's
see that.
smooth. There's nothing to see because it's so smooth.
It's dirty and voyeuristic, but we got to watch that steal one more time.
Yeah.
All right, let's do
We
it.
owe it to the people.
We owe it to the people.
All right, I'm going to turn the volume off.
We've got
And-
dozen of requests.
And let me let's just move to the part here. There it is.
Sweet feint. Good old fashioned thumb break.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just a double. Sweetness.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little
Watch this here.
shuffle control.
Snake.
Beautiful top palm. Look at that. Or
Yep. Just topping the deck, bro. That was a straight Vernon top palm.
look, and he's holding it out, and he goes right while everybody's focused on pushing that card out. He goes to his pocket. and
It's
goes,
over.
It's over. Aaron said this is a lesson in audience or in management, and it really is.
It's a lesson in everything.
It's a lesson in everything.
Look at his hands. Thing about Michael is just watching his hands move is magical.
He does have a really graceful
Look at the way he
light.
just closes his hand.
Yeah, he just.
No abrupt movements. It's all very smooth and very gentle and delicate.
It's a real stylistic lesson that you don't see often these days, because these days is this hyper postmodern, natural, post David Blaine thing. And Michael was doing magic in a way where every moment had an element of magic to it. Every gesture of his hand had an element of magic to it. That's no slouch there. Look at the way that card was displayed. Super pro.
But that was Johnny doing that. And Johnny, you can see the guy is gushing the whole time. He loves close-up magic. He's doing everything he can so that Michael can just be a star. It's really cool.